Weekend market recap for Saturday, February 26, 2022. Let's go.
This is Dan Max at EXP Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is my stock, Bitcoin, gold, and silver daily market recaps. Please subscribe if you like what you see. Thank you.
This is Dan Max at EXP Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your weekend market recap for Saturday, February 26th, 2022. Let's get into it. As always, start out in the Discord room. If you have any questions about the content in this video, please stop by the Discord room. Link is in the description below. Also be aware we do live trade alerts, daily market recaps, educational videos. I don't know, I do one-on-one recaps for certain stocks if people have questions, but let's get into it. So yeah, the Discord room, if you got questions, stop in here. Pretty interesting headline I noticed for all my silver friends. Yesterday, 125% of the silver global mine supply was paper sold. There's a big game being played in the commodities markets, especially with gold and silver. Someone trading that much paper, you have to be very confident silver prices are going lower, which is crazy because if you try to find silver anywhere under the paper price or at the paper price, you can't. The premiums are huge. So just be aware something's going on in the silver market. I think at some point you're going to see a monster squeeze in silver. When I don't know. I do not know. I don't predict time frames, or try not to, because they can be really difficult. All right, Bitcoin. We talked about Bitcoin when it hit the VAP zone up here. Check the prior videos. Bitcoin, or just whatever date this was for the daily market recap, February 9th. Talked about if it could not get over it, watch the back test. We back tested not necessarily the trend line, but the old lows from late January. That's great, you know, in the sense that I like to see double bottoms. People struggle with double bottoms because they don't want to see it. They expect V bottoms. But when you retest and you have nice volume like that, that's usually a sign you're going higher. So if you're a Bitcoin bull short term, you should be happy. TLT, this is one we've been talking about in nauseam. I think, now again, this is not about politics, but I swear to gosh, swear to God, whatever you want to call it, every time interest rates look like they're about to go higher, there's some sort of global issue that brings rates back down. And remember, this is an inverse relationship, so it would be TLT going higher. I want to see what happens. We get it. It looks like a retest of the lows from last spring. And now what? We called that, did a video on it. Then we hit the 20-day, said the 20-day will probably be your first resistance in red. As you can see, it was. Now what? Just watch. I mean, could we fill the gap here right under 136? Absolutely. Sorry. Just be aware. I mean, V bottoms now. But could it be a little, this is what I'm seeing at the moment. Some sort of head and shoulders complex forming. Here's the head, left shoulder, right shoulder. I would just keep an eye on it. I think rates are going to go lower. Somehow the market's going to manipulate them lower like they always do, but we will see. The dollar, we talked about it holding up pretty well. Look what happens. You test the high end of range, you blow out, you come right back. This is why trading can be so hard at times. And if you understand the channels and where to get in or where to get out, I'm not personally trading the dollar. I don't know when it really is, but I just watch it. And when it was holding up, said, you know what, don't be surprised if it spikes or it fails. And you had this very simple, like, binary play where if it failed the 100-day, it's toast. It held, it's probably going higher. Well, guess what? It held and went higher. Boom. Oh, the VIX. I try to warn people every time this gets up into crash under risk way. What is the reason for the crash? Always, if you study how military skirmishes break out in the world, it's sell the rumor, buy the invasion every single time. Well, the invasion usually is the worst case scenario, and at that point, it's priced in. Now, what ultimately happens in Europe, we don't know. Asia, whatever you call it, Ukraine, Eurasia. We were selling UVXY up here. When we said we got the retest up in the 21s, it was a gift from the gods. Hopefully you shorted it, sold calls. Well, not buy puts on it, but it also led to buying market risk. And we talked about this. I'm bullish gold and in the metals, but I also know that there's times where you got to buy the market. You got to play the market. Well, guess what? We hit some fibs, and really we talked about some of the other potentials, because one of the things that I said about the market is even though we're going to peel off the highs, don't be surprised on the bounce on the monthly. I mean, we hit a lot of these range and channel highs. So are we going higher to retest the old highs? That's the question, the $1 million question. So you got to watch the trend line and the 200-day. I think it all plays out again in these levels, needing to know the levels, because ultimately no one knows anything for sure. I mean, they could say they're not going to do interest rate hikes. There's a million things that you don't know the answer to. If you want to pretend you do, that's great. I like to play the probabilities. And right now, with what's going on in the world, the Fed's not going to be quick to raise rates. That's all I know. How that plays out in the market, I figured there was a bounce coming. Well, again, I didn't nail the lows. I didn't trade the SPY. We'll show you what we did trade for market risk, but nice bounce. Where can it get to? Again, watch the mid 440s. That's what I'd be looking at. That would be the short-term goal. I mean, if we break this trend, because we did it previously and then came back, I would watch. Maybe it's the 200-day. I mean, it just seems like repeating patterns. Qs, this has been the lagger, the donkey of them all. But look, we talked about hitting the trend lows. I mean, it hit the channel lows. Now, I didn't just draw that channel. It was there. And guess what? We hit it to a T. I mean, it is what it is. I talked about also in the other recaps, like the 20-month. If we touch it, I don't think we'll break it the first test. Let's see what happens. I expect tech to bounce, but remember, it's lagging. It's lagging. When I see lagging relative performance, you'll see it compared to the commodity stocks we're going to get into. The IWM, this is how we traded it, actually. So I noticed when the market was peeling off, it got below the 20-day, but it was nowhere near the lows like the Qs in the SPYs were. And keep in mind, the IWM topped in November. Look at when the Qs topped. This is what's really interesting. The Qs topped in November and double topped. Go back to the IWM. Topped on its own and went what? Meow. Well, now that it's pulled back, it wasn't making new lows. And I was telling people, I'm like, watch the relative action. Somebody is buying the IWM. It's holding up. What did it do? It made an exact double bottom. If you want, check out the video on it. Actually, I'll drop it in there at 7:16 mark. IWM. You can watch. We talked about this double bottom. And now what? We're buying it. Buying some up here and scalping it, and then bought some down near the lows, trading it. Love it. Back over the 20-day. I think the first target's up here. The 206, the 208 level with the 50-day, and the downtrend is coming. I mean, again, it's a nice little trade if you're not scared to trade the markets. You know, it's I always tell people when everyone's freaking the fuck out, you got to be careful that you're not chicken little like everyone else selling. Let's get into gold because it's amazing to me. Again, I mean, I had to kick someone off the Discord room just because they're like, oh, gold, end of the world, gold's done. It's like, if you bought it where we were talking about it, you know, this was a good buy. Of course, it pulled back. Buy the rumor, sell the news. The other side of this, you know, like, I'm not surprised that everybody and their mom was talking about they love gold. They're buying gold. It's the only thing holding up. This is a war, end of the world, World War III, which it wasn't going to turn into at the moment. And then what happens? It pulls back. Is it the end of the up move forever? No, you're a fucking idiot if you're not paying attention. We talk about this every day. Every single day. We talk about this is a big cup and handle, and now we're bringing the handle downtrend. And the volume's starting to increase. Does it mean every day gold's going to be up? No. And that's why I ban people who just spam the board and say, gold's done, or the market says. It's like one day doesn't make a trend. One day. That big red candle, I know it's bearish looking, but what happened yesterday? We didn't make new lows. So is it possible we just shook every weak hand out? I mean, do we fill again? I would watch I keep saying, watch the 175 area. Do we fill this gap? I mean, again, not all gaps have to get filled, but it is at support. I mean, I would love to see that and not have a problem buying it. I mean, I have literally trades waiting to be filled at these prices. Just don't overthink it, man. Like, start on the monthly. Are we not making higher highs and higher lows? I mean, again, do you want unless you're used to straight line moves from tech that just always end in like crashes, then you want the smooth and steady up. You want the game as it is. You want to shake the weak hands to make new highs, to have them chase new highs, then to chop out. That's part of it. Silver, again, monster paper contract selling. But look what happened. We didn't make a lower low today. I mean, you got to pay attention to this stuff. The 200-day. You also have to take profits if you're unsure, hedge, or if you get in the no-brainer buy zone, you don't give a shit. I put little effort into watching this unless I want to buy a dip. I don't care that it blows out and pops back, because guess what? I'm not holding this for a day. I'm not holding silver for a week. I'm looking at the monthly and I go, wow, big up move. Now consolidation. We break this downtrend, we are going to fly. I don't need to own everything in the market. I don't need to see my stocks go up every day. I just need to own stuff that I think is not going to go lower and has potential for the upside. And speaking of that, I mean, look at the miners. Everything is similar situation, that they look very similar. Oh, big up day. Well, guess what? They filled the gap if you were watching, and guess what? Nice green candle. Closed near the high of the day. Look at the monthly again. If you're not watching the monthlies, starting on the monthly of your trades, you are an idiot. And I say that with the nicest way possible, because every trade has to be understood from the past. Why? Because markets have muscle memory. Stock action is remembered. The people who bought it a month ago, a week ago, a year ago, whatever you want to say, are always the holders that are always having to make decisions. If you're thinking it from your perspective only, you are being selfish. You're not using your self-awareness. Well, look what's happening. The GDX is tightening up in a pennant, holding the channel lows. Tried to break out. Well, guess what? Volume wasn't amazing this week, but I'm not going to be surprised at some point it does break out. So again, do I need to watch it every single day and worry about every single move? No, because I can't predict this shit. But I also do know that when it goes from 36 up to 45, you do the math, that's a really nice move, 20+%, and it pulls back. If it pulls back 10%, is that out of the realm? No, I don't know. That doesn't bother me. Watch the 100-day. I mean, again, you could have bought the 100-day. I'm going to speed up because I could get into a rant about this stuff. It's just amazing to people that they just look at the 10-minute chart and they don't see the bigger picture. AEM, they had the CEO left. KL guy's taking over. Now a problem, pulls back to the 20-day. Notice the 20 days finally curling up. All these moving averages starting to curl up. Watch this area. Now again, it is exact. Watch 50, 51. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. AG put an alert out on this on the Discord room. Said, hey, watch the 20-day. Well, we actually said this yesterday or 2 days ago on the daily market recap. Watch the 20-day, 50-day curling up. If you had an opportunity to buy this under 10 near the 1090 area, congratulations. It closed at 1030 at the high of the day. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. If you're paying attention, the stuff isn't that hard. It's just the brain overthinks this. Okay, PAAS. We talked about this one not being as beautiful, but guess what? I mean, it held this 2250. If you have your charts lined up, you could have bought it. Again, not trading it, but who knows? So let's get into my stock of the day. If you've been paying attention, I've been harping on this. Let's remember this time because I'm going to write this. X was at 13, 15. We talked about this. What is it doing? We'll let it high and tight under the 200-day. When it breaks, it breaks. You could have bought this breakout because why? The volume was expanding. Nice action. It was up 10% for the day. Followers, friends, people who are paying attention who own X are going, now what, Dan? Guess what? This whole trade started on the monthly. Keep in mind. Goes from $4 up to 30. And then it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 months of consolidation. If this was a 10-minute candle, a chart, you would be like, oh, that's bullish. But since it's a monthly chart, you can't wrap your head around the time frames, then that's on you. I can be patient. I can see what's going on. We talked about when it made the dips, like, ooh, the 20-month. If it hits the 20-month, that would be an absolute gift. It hit it, went a little below it, and look what happened. Since then, 18, 27, not a bad move. You're welcome. You should thank yourself, not me. You're the ones making the hard decisions. Here's another one. VALE. We talked about this. Channel lows in the 20-day. If you buy, watch. Notice how I say I don't like straight line moves. I like the nice chop and up and smoothness. Look at that. Takes the range lows, pops right back. And look at the volume increasing. That is solid, solid action. CCJ. Here's another one we talked about. Materials, not making new lows. Keep in mind, material names, commodity names. As the markets are making new lows or at the lows, are these names anywhere near their lows? Nope, they are not. Look at this one. I mean, it held the 20-day, popped up, said watch the trend line. I think you have a trend line break with volume. I think it's confirmed. You could have bought this on the trend line break, 22. The upside's probably in the 28s. Let's zoom out to the monthly. The downtrend is broken. We said the top of the VAP zone is in the 24 to 22 range, 21. It's been holding tight. It's gonna go. I mean, when it goes, it'll probably, the first resistance is where? It's 0.618 in this downtrend. 24.50. It's also the VAP highs. All right, let's go into the dogs of the market. Again, they had some nice pops, but tech, AMD's actually been better. It's some of the other names we'll get into. We talked about this trying to fill the gap. Did it fill the gap? Again, I'm not even trading this stuff. I just don't care because it's just, I don't think it has the same type of relative performance coming. Yep, it did. Filled the gap. Nice trade if you're an AMD bull. Now where trend lines, coming to the trend lines. Again, look at the monthly. This thing went on a monster move. I don't like the long-term potential because it has to digest. When something goes from $3 to 160s, it's probably going to take a break. Now, how long is that break? I don't know. I just don't know. But keep in mind, we identified the Head and Shoulders top. We picked the top in this stock, guys and gals. Like, there wasn't any doubt. We said channel highs, Head and Shoulders top, peace out. Guess what? You're down. Get a 200-day. Get under the 200-day, bounces. Hey, it just doesn't look, the risk isn't worth the reward. Notice how, like, something like gold that's taken months to consolidate, breaking out. Silver, months of chopping, potentially breaking out. Letter X, I mean, again, months of chopping, looking to break out. Like, these moves to me have more upside because they've consolidated. AMD has not done that. AMD has gone in like 3 months. These other ones have been a year, 2 years. And they're holding up better. Apple, the fruit seems to be holding the 200-day. We talked about this yesterday. Now where? Again, these are, if you're asking yourself these questions, and I am struggling to figure out where these are going to bounce to and why I'd want to trade them, then I don't know why you'd want to trade them. I mean, what's the upside? I don't know. Let's start on the monthly. I thought it could get up here to the channel high. It's not there yet. Could it get there? Really depends on what the Feds are doing. But this isn't a chart that I'm just chasing after. I want to see this thing get pulverized before I even think about buying it. Will it? I don't know, man. Again, this is like the same conversation I'm having myself with these videos because people have them with me and they go, what do you think of this? And what do you think of that? I'm like, you're trying to, split hairs, trying to split molecules. I don't know. Let's look for the easy stuff. MicroStrategy, what do we say? If Bitcoin pulls back, it pulls back. Bitcoin bottoms, it bottoms. Nice bounce back over the 200-day or 20-day in red. At this point, I don't think this trend line really matters. It was just one for short term. If you were long term, or if you were holding it, you didn't want to see it break. Again, let's go to the monthly. This is the kind of like smash that I would be looking to buy, not Apple and AMD where they're barely off the highs. This might be a decent one. I don't know. Tough to tell. Roblox, here's another one that we're talking about that's been, we've been all over the top of this. We said, hey, it looks sell up here. When it broke the trend, you were done. I thought this would be a W down here, but I guess it's not really a W, so we got to remove my Wu-Tang. But the thing that's so hard about something like Roblox is it's underperforming the market. You're below the IPO price of the 60. At this point, there is pukage down here. Look at the volume. So you can trade it. Or if you want to buy it for the long run, I'm not going to say it's not a bad buy. I mean, you're buying it at a discount. Let's call it what it is. This is a severe discount. The stock was, I mean, absolutely shit can. Let's remove all the fibs and clean this chart up so we can get really good information for you if you're going to buy it. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it has potential. That's all I would say. I don't think I have an opinion on it until it gets back over the IPO price of 60. But if you were buying it down in the 40s, golf clap, nice work. I mean, you can't argue with the price action. Let's get into some of these electric car, because again, people are asking me about, you know, the tech war and what's going on. What should I buy? And I'm like, do not buy the outputs. Please don't buy the outputs, because at this point you are, again, Rivian's cost structure is only going up and up. Can they pass on the price increases? I don't know. But I'd rather be the guy supplying the batteries, the aluminum, the steel, the rubber, the tires, the electronics, versus like the output. At this point, stay over the 20-day. If not, it is a POS. And again, I mean in a nice way. Like it might take a while basing the 50s. Tesla, every day someone asks me about Tesla, and I'm like, leave it alone. We called the top because we know formations. We know a nice smooth uptrend ends with a blow off top. Well, the blow off top ended, and guess what? Now you make new lows. You're making lower lows. I mean, this downtrend, I don't even know how to draw it at this point. Let's try to draw it. You're making lower lows and lower highs. So do you want to own stocks in downtrends? I typically, again, no, I don't think so. I mean, you broke below like the symmetrical channel low, but a decent volume. I mean, it's due to bounce. Let's call that. I mean, let's not be bearish when it should be when it pops, but it needs to get back over the 200-day. These stocks are really hard, man. If you want to look at easy stuff, check out the other parts of the video. But if you're watching just Tesla every day, man, I can't. I've been doing this 20 years and I see the action. I think it's due to bounce, but I don't like it because when I look at the monthly, I go, oh, we hit the 20 month, which is good. Again, let's talk about 20 month. That was great. But you went from channel high to channel low. Do I think we're going up to channel high? Come on, we went from 23 up to 1260s. I don't think so. I think this thing needs to base out. It might underperform. Again, let's wait for Elon to say he's buying. Unless Elon's buying, I'm not buying. They'll do a secondary, they'll issue stock, and he'll be buying it. Then we should buy it. At this point, your guess is as good as mine. We could flip fucking coins at this point. PENN Gaming, we talked about this a billion times, being wrong on it, and just saying, hey, when it bottomed here, watch the action. You're holding up. Here's another one that took a big dumper and worth looking at. 140 down to the 40s at the 50-day. Let's see if we can get back over this old channel. That's just really what it is. UTHR broke the trend. Big gap down. Again, we zoom out to the monthly and you go, oh, it's just a 20-month. Keep in mind, like, always try to explain to people, this action is not bad. It's healthy. I mean, you got all these people who've been owning it. You got to shake them out. Now, what fib do you get to? I don't know. But when you look at the daily, we said if you don't hold the upper channel, it's going to fail. If you couldn't break over, it was not going to go. So that's part of trading. The earnings came out and goodbye. EXPI. Another one. If you just start out on the monthly, you go, wow, that was at 90. And now, oh shit, it's at 22. You could buy that. People were buying it. I own it. I mean, nice double bottom again, holding support. Here's it. Here, I mean, zoom out. You can see. Dude, let me just make it even more clear so you can't miss it. Here's your lows. That's your reference point. You don't have to overthink it. Bo, if you're watching this, don't overthink it. Know your levels and know your exit. If you buy it at 22s, your exit's 20 or 21, whatever you want it to be. The risk worth reward, well, boom, it pops $7. It's a nice trade. Could it pop back up into the 50s? Whew. Probably not, but 30s, 40s. I mean, would you take a double? A double? Maybe. Now, let's end it on the oil name. So this video is in a 35 minutes long. We've talked about XOP because people have questions and oil higher. I mean, here you go, down and shaking it out. You're shaking out, man. That was a nice volume node back to come back. I think I'd like to see over 113 to confirm it. ExxonMobil, we talked about this one in nauseum. We said it was over. Remember how we talk about straight line moves are usually the end of the up move, just like the straight line move down to the end of the down move. Talked about breaking the downtrend here, 100, 200 month. Would love to see it in the 70s, low 70s. We got pretty close, but I didn't grab any. But we'll see. If you got questions, again, please stop by the Discord room. I appreciate everybody. Sorry the weekend recap's a little longer, but hey, there's a lot to know. We'll talk to you guys and gals later.
Thanks for watching. For more trading knowledge and insight, click on the videos on the right, and also join the Discord room. Link is in the description below. If you have any questions, please stop on by the Discord room and let's chat. Thank you.